Saigawa River. It is one of the best and most famous rivers for Trout Spey in Japan. The river collects the pure and clean water from the Matsumoto Basin, perforates the mountains, and flows into Nagano City. The river flows through Matsumoto City, a city of history and tradition, with a towering national treasure castle, and Azumino City, a scenic area at the foot of the northern outpost with its 3,000-meter peaks. We can see in the landscape the perfect harmony between nature and culture. There are two main routes from Tokyo to the Saigawa River. You can take the limited express train or the expressway driving for 3 hours to Matsumoto City in the upper reaches, or the Shinkansen for 1.5 hours to Nagano City in the lower reaches, whichever you prefer. The section where you can enjoy Trout Spey is about 60 kilometers from Matsumoto City to Nagano City. Beside the main stream, Azusagawa River, Takasegawa River, Hodakagawa River, and Naraigawa River also have enough water to enjoy swing fishing. The lower area flows through deep valleys and mountains, and the current over bedrock doesn't change. On the other hand, the upstream area, which flows through the Matsumoto Basin, has vast dry riverbed, and the flow changes every time there is a typhoon or heavy rainfall. In general, Japanese people are unaware of their faith. Therefore, if you ask Japanese people about their religious beliefs, many will answer that they have no religion. However, it has taken root in Japanese people's lives at a level that they are unaware of. At the beginning of a new year, many Japanese people pay a visit to temples and shrines to pray for good health and good fortune for the year ahead. Zenkoji Temple is the largest temple in Shinshu and is home to the oldest Buddhist statue in Japan, dating back more than 1,400 years. Our new year began at this temple, located at the lowest point of the Saigawa River. Early summer. Our fishing season on the Saigawa River has started. Fishing itself is allowed in mid-February, but it is still cold at that time. From April to mid-May, the river becomes muddy on many days due to the inflow of melted snow. Fish congregate in certain areas during the winter and spring, but begin to disperse into the current in late May, when the new green gradually turns darker and darker. There are 4 species of trout you can catch in the Saigawa River: brown trout, rainbow trout, yamame trout, and char. Brown trout are the most numerous species, although they are non-native to Japan. They have adapted to this environment and are strong and resilient. Rainbow trout are the next most common species. Yamame trout are few in number, and the char live quietly in the upper reaches of the river. You can use common Trout Spey tackle. I use an 11-foot switch rod with about 280 grain line. Flies should also be swing flies for trout, 4 to 10 foot wet flies, and about 5 to 10 cm streamer flies.
음. 아,抜けちゃった.
突っ込んだね今の。
もうでかい。40以上ありますね。50ぐらいありますよ。いや
is a region of art. It is not widely known, but Nagano Prefecture has the highest number of art museums per 100,000 people in Japan, more than double the number in second place. Also, the population of Shinshu accounts for 1.6% of Japan's total. 10% of the country's art museums are located here. In the Matsumoto Basin surrounding the Saigawa River, there are nearly 20 museums. We especially love the Northern Alps Viewing Museum of Art. It is a small collection of mountain art related to Azumino, located halfway up a mountain. You have a panoramic view of the Northern Alps from the museum. And one thing you must not forget about Shinshu is soba. The climate in Shinshu is suitable for growing soba, and there are many soba restaurants in Matsumoto Basin. Our recommendation is Omen in Azumino City. First-rate soba restaurants are generally small in quantity, but here, both soba and tempura are plentiful. So it is nice when you are hungry after fishing. The taste is also delicious. And the building is a traditional Japanese house. You can enjoy your trip to the fullest. Japan has a rainy season called Tsuyu. In Shinshu, rainy days continue from the middle of June to the end of July. The beginnings of the rainy season is usually cool with little rainfall, and the later half of the season brings more rainfall. Heavy rains in the later half of the rainy season often cause the water to rise so high that fishing becomes impossible. At the same time, however, the rainy season is also an opportunity to encounter great fish. The cloudy skies and rain falling on the surface of the water make the fish less cautious.
外れました。
The climate in Shinshu is also suitable for viticulture, making it one of the most famous wine-growing regions in Japan. Here in the Matsumoto Basin, there are nearly 30 wineries. The Azumino winery is located at the foot of the northern Alps and produces delicious wines at reasonable prices. There are several other nice wineries near the Saigawa River. So if the river gets muddy, you can tour the wineries and museums. Midsummer has arrived. It is hot in the Matsumoto Basin in August, especially during the daytime. The riverbanks are so hot because of the heat radiated from the stone that it is hard to put on waders. However, because of the abundant spring water, the water temperature doesn't rise so much even in midsummer, so we can fish in the main stream in the morning and evenings in August. However, it is quite dangerous to fish during the daytime in the main stream where there is no shade. countless streams in the 3,000-meter high northern Alps, most of which are inhabited by trout. The water is cool even in midsummer, and here you can escape the August daytime heat. 2-weight to 4-weight single-handed rope, depending on location, and a foam beetle fly will suffice. I want to talk about something you must eat in Japan in summer. It is eel. Sakamoto-ya is an eel restaurant in an old Japanese house near the Saigawa River. By the way, although eel is in season in winter, it is considered a summer food in Japan. This is because of the marketing campaign conducted by a man named Hiraga Gennai in the Edo period. At that time, the consumption of eel was declining in summer, so he launched a campaign to encourage people to eat eel in summer. However, since Japanese summers are hot and humid and people lose their appetite, it makes sense to eat eel because of its high nutritional value. September. It is the last month of the trout fishing season that started in mid-February. The heat of midsummer is gone, and the mornings and evenings are much cooler. The sky is high. Near the confluence of the Saigawa River and its major tributaries, there is an inn called Gohoden. The building is an old, large Japanese-style house, but it has very mysterious atmosphere with Western-style design. Gohoden is a simple but comfortable. Above all, the location, just a 5-minute drive to the Saigawa River, is wonderful. You can have a Japanese buffet at the inn, but I recommended eating at Iroriyaki Hayakawaya, a 10-minute walk from the inn. Iroriyaki is a traditional Japanese grill, and at Hayakawaya, you can enjoy a high-level Japanese cuisine. I cast and stepped down one cast at a time, reflecting on the passing season. I remember fishing alone and with friends. I remember the art and food rooted in the climate and environment. I remember the sky, wind, water, soil, and the interweaving of creature and people. Shinshu, it is more than just the name of a place. We find the world a harmony of nature and culture. When we travel in Shinshu, we are inevitably traveling through a harmony of nature and culture.
ちょっと撮ってもらえます。すいません、撮ったら後半やっちゃってください。やばいやばいやばいやばい、でかい。はいはい、あ、やべえ、変なとこ行かれる。ちょっと岸に寄せます。ありがとうございます。でかっ。これ5匹目です。今頭って赤く電気ついてますよね。ちょっとじゃあこれ取れてるってことですか。もういい映像撮れてる。これ入っちゃった。これ入りました。はい、いいです。ありがとうございます。帰りましょう。